What's up, Taiwan? Good evening. I'm Liao with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. A land warning affecting parts of northern Taiwan could be issued in the early hours of Saturday if Typhoon Hynamnor continues on its current path. Parts of the country have also recorded strong winds toppling trees, scaffolding, and rocks. Jaime Okan is at a local market to see how people are prepping for the coming storm.
With the first typhoon affecting Taiwan in almost a year, people around the country will be flocking to supermarkets like this one behind me to stock up on necessities like instant noodles and vegetables. Taiwan's Weather Bureau says that the storm is expected to make landfall on Saturday and could stay in the area throughout the weekend. Patrick Chen and Jaime Okan in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
Typhoon Hynamnor triggered a sea warning Friday morning on its path toward Taiwan and will bring heavy rain and wind to many parts of the country. Dozens of flights and ferry services have also been canceled. And as Bing Wang reports, many here are preparing for the change in weather after the summer's heat wave.
It's papaya season, and these farmers in western Taiwan are scrambling to fortify the harvest. That's because Typhoon Hynamnor is nearing Taiwan. The typhoon is not expected to make landfall, but a sea warning has been issued that could bring heavy rains and strong winds to many parts of the country.
它的暴风半径则是有略微的扩大，从原本的220公里扩大到250公里。那预计台风在明后2天，大致上就是位在台湾的东南方海面，到后天会逐渐往北上，通过台湾东方的海面。
While some farmers are struggling to save their harvests, it's a welcome sign for the northeastern port city of Keelung. The city has been facing a drought since early August. The mayor had to bring in water tankers and ask residents to conserve water. It's been a long and hot summer with heat waves and droughts felt across the world, and the soaring temperatures have certainly been felt here in Taiwan. In fact, it's been the 5th hottest summer on record. It's expected the rain will bring some relief, along with helping parts of the country suffering from water shortages.
这暑假很热，反而下雨比较凉快。台风快来，所以要赶快把要忙的事情赶快忙完。对，因为晚一点风雨可能会更大。
今年有特别热，但是我觉得变凉的时间也可能也快一点。
Taiwan's typhoon season has historically been from July to September, but for the last 3 years, the first typhoon didn't hit until September, and this year is no different. The Ministry of Science and Technology says that global warming is a likely cause of this extreme weather and could mean fewer typhoons in the future. James Rayner and Bing Wang for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's premier says the army had no choice but to shoot down a Chinese drone over the outlying islands of Jinmen. As Louise Watt reports, Taiwan's military says it's dealing with a rising threat from Chinese drones, and they're spending $140 million on a homegrown defense system.
After weeks of Chinese drones appearing over Taiwan's outlying islands, Taiwan is signaling it's fighting back against the encroaching presence. On Thursday, Taiwan shot down a Chinese civilian drone that flew near a military outpost in Kinmen County. The Taiwan-controlled islands are just a few kilometers from the Chinese mainland. The drone was spotted over Kinmen's Lion Islet, which sits across from Xiamen City in southeast China. Troops stationed on the islet fired flares and live rounds in an attempt to repel it.
国军这一次对该无人机警示，要求离去，仍置之不理，只好做这样子的防卫射击处理。这是一再忍耐，一再警告之后最适当的做法。相信国人同胞跟世界各民主国家看起来都是认为妥当的应处。
These intrusions are seen as part of China's grey zone tactics, a strategy to wear Taiwan down without starting a war.
中国有无人机飞到我国境内，还拍影片回去做大内宣。我们已经一再警告，一再要求不要 亲门打呼，国人同胞也同感愤慨。
Beijing claims Taiwan as part of its territory, and its foreign ministry says Chinese drones flying to Kinmen should not be a surprise. Chinese state media have said they exposed Taiwan's weak defences. Now, Taiwanese analysts say new methods are needed to counter drone incursions.
用这个干扰枪为主，就是进行电子干扰，破它，让它迫降。那第二个，未来可能也可以考虑，就是导入这个捕捉用的无人机。
Tensions between China and Taiwan have shot up since the visit by US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi in early August. Despite Beijing's objections, she became the highest US official to set foot in Taipei in a quarter century. China launched large-scale military exercises around Taiwan to express anger over Pelosi's trip. But even now, Taiwan is scrambling daily to drive away Chinese planes and ships that are venturing closer to Taiwan's territory more frequently than before. Neither side has confirmed exactly where the drones that are menacing Taiwan are coming from. But the Defense Ministry is investing heavily in a homegrown drone defense system that will be set up by next year. Esnaya Zhou and Louise Watt for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's legislature has kicked off its latest session after the summer recess. The budget is expected to be the biggest item on the agenda. Last week, Taiwan's cabinet announced a 13.9% increase in the defense budget. Also up for discussion is an amendment to the act governing police use of firearms. It follows the murder of 2 police officers in the southern city of Tainan last month. The government has said it will lower the liability on officers who discharge their weapons while on duty. Police have busted a human trafficking ring thought to have targeted Taiwanese people with disabilities. But as John Van Trieste reports, the whereabouts of the group's leader and at least some of the victims are still unknown.
Police say this man and another they've arrested are responsible for the disappearance of up to 30 people. The arrests are the latest in a crackdown on human traffickers. Trafficking rings have lured hundreds of Taiwanese to Cambodia with the promise of high-paying jobs. But on arrival, these Taiwanese people are held captive, forced to work, and sometimes sold or ransomed. These traffickers tend to target vulnerable people to begin with, but the group these 2 men allegedly belong to targeted the most vulnerable of all.
那该集团非常的恶劣，竟将年轻身心障碍的弱势团体拐骗出国至柬埔寨。
Among the people with disabilities the group conned was a woman from Hualien who went to Cambodia in July and hasn't been heard from since. Police say the trafficking was organized, with each member playing a specific role.
他们国内的分工就是代办护照，然后集中处所，几天的时间要住在一个地方，搭机再出境。那搭机出境也有人专人带他们搭机出境。
Police have busted the ring's headquarters, but the group's leader is still at large and is known to be in Cambodia. Police now have to figure out how to find him and bring the group's missing victims back. Patrick Chen and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Police spend most of their time trying to catch criminals, but their suspects aren't always human. Officers in the southern city of Kaohsiung responded to a 4 a.m. call from a motorist who said that something was blocking the road, only to find the culprits were 4 geese on a midnight stroll. They called for backup from the fire department, which drove the geese to the police station in a fire truck. Worried the geese would escape and cause more mischief, the cops locked the animals in a holding cell with water and some boxes. The geese have now been released from custody. The city's Animal Control Bureau says it's searching for the birds' owner. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally today, we leave you with images of the annual Fireball Festival in El Salvador. The event sees participants throwing flaming balls at one another to commemorate a volcanic eruption 400 years ago that forced residents to abandon the town. I'm Liao. Take care and see you next time.